Rates move, profits follow. Let's stop guessing and start deciding with confidence.
Most finance teams build their P&L based on a single assumption: one interest rate, one forecast, one world that never changes. But the world does change, and it changes fast. Every central bank decision instantly ripples through your financing cost, project viability, and corporate cash flow. When rates rise, projects with thin margins become unviable overnight. A discount rate that looked safe at 5% now recalculates at 6.5%, cutting your project NPV by double-digit percentages. The goal isn't to predict the next central bank move. The goal is to prepare for every plausible outcome. That's why professional portfolio teams and CFO offices use range-based planning, a disciplined method to test how your P&L behaves under several interest rate paths, not one.
When rates rise, pain spreads quietly, from the balance sheet to the boardroom.
Let's look beyond the obvious. Even a 0.5% increase in base rate can multiply total interest expense by millions over a multi-year loan portfolio. The higher the leverage, the sharper the shock. A line graph comparing interest expense versus base rate, the slope steepens as base rate crosses 4%. Add a red zone labeled Interest Risk Amplification Zone. Then comes valuation. Every project discounted at a higher rate yields a lower NPV. For example, a project with $10 million net inflow over 5 years at 5% discount may show NPV of $8.7 million, but at 7%, that drops to $7.6 million. A 13% value erosion purely from rate change. And that's not all. Higher rates often strengthen domestic currency, good for importers, tough for exporters. So while your financial cost rises, your revenue might fall due to FX effects. This dual hit compresses profit faster than expected.
One rate, one guess. Real finance plays within a range.
Traditional forecasts are dangerous because they assume certainty. Scenario planning, on the other hand, accepts uncertainty and converts it into decision clarity. Let's visualize a range-based scenario table. Each row in this scenario table tells a strategic story. Base case, 3%, stability zone. Your debt cost at 5% keeps EBIT healthy, cash forecasts align with targets. Mild hike, 3.5%, early warning. Interest cost eats a small slice of operating margin. The disciplined companies react here, not later. Sharp hike, 4.5%, stress zone. Debt cost jumps to 6.9%. For leveraged projects, that could erase entire profit buffers. Easing, 2.5%, opportunity zone. Lower funding cost expands EBIT plus 3%, offering headroom for reinvestment or deleveraging. The goal of scenario planning is not prediction, but pre-commitment. For every 1% rate rise, management should already know which levers to pull, which projects to delay, and which hedges to activate.
Before you can plan, measure your exposure.
To manage interest risk, you must quantify it. Ask, how much does each 1% increase in rates change your P&L? For metrics, make it visible. Interest coverage ratio, EBIT divided by interest expense. If it's below 3.0x, warning lights should flash. Debt mix, fixed versus floating. If most of your debt is floating, you're effectively betting on stability. Cash burn/runway duration. As interest cost grows, runway shortens. FX exposure, link rate hikes move currency value, directly affecting import cost or overseas revenue. When you know how sensitive your profit is, you turn unknown risk into a known variable. That's the first step to control.
Forecasts freeze you. Scenarios free you.
Let's now build a full scenario map. Step 1. Define rate bands. Select 3 to 4 levels, say plus 50 BPS, plus 100 BPS, plus 200 BPS. Step 2. Map the impact. Estimate new. Total interest expense, project IRR/NPV, debt service ratio, cash buffer duration. Step 3. Simulate management actions. Hedge or cap the rate. Refinance short-term debt? Delay capex? Step 4. Visualize impact zones. Use a heatmap. Columns equals business units, rows equals scenarios, colors equals severity of EBIT erosion. In the sharp hike row, several red cells appear, meaning those divisions hit threshold limits first. A legend shows red equals risk breach, orange equals caution, green equals stable. This visualization tells leadership where to act first, which projects are rate fragile, and which are rate resilient.
Good CFOs don't react. They pre-decide.
Scenario planning is powerful only when it translates into rules. Let's turn the analysis into an if-then playbook. Each rule removes emotion. When the next rate hike comes, your dashboard already flashes red, yellow, or green, and the system tells you what to do. This is what separates professional finance control from reactive management.
Prediction is fragile. Preparation is power.
In finance, certainty is an illusion. Great teams plan through probabilities. Instead of debating who's right about the next rate move, they ask, if each path happens, what's our playbook? This mindset transforms anxiety into readiness. 3 benefits. Preparedness. You already know your moves. Speed. Decisions happen in hours, not weeks. Resilience. No panic, just process. Control begins with clarity, and clarity begins with range-based thinking. Rate hikes will keep happening. That's the nature of the cycle. What matters is not your prediction accuracy, but your adaptability. The winners are not those who guess the next move, but those who survive every move because they planned across ranges. So stop building one-number forecasts. Start designing scenarios that protect profit.
If this helped you, subscribe and join me where uncertainty becomes clarity.